In today's video, I'll be breaking down exactly how I took one of my clients from pretty much zero to over $75,000 in cash collected with their coaching program with less than 3,000 followers on Instagram. As you can see, this is Jason right here, and before me and Jason partnered up together, Jason had never ever launched a high ticket coaching program before. And as you can see today, I'm literally going to be breaking down every single thing and every single step that we took to actually kind of set up this coaching program and take Jason from zero to over $75,000 in cash collected with less than 3,000 followers. So if you're a coach or if you're a content creator that makes or posts content around your expertise, whatever expertise is, and you're looking to kind of, launch a high ticket coaching program or scale your high ticket coaching program, then, make sure to watch this video until the end. Make sure you grab a notebook, make sure you grab a pen, and take some notes, because as you can see, I literally broke down everything that pretty much took Jason from zero to, like I said, $75,000 in cash collected with a micro audience. Now, like I already mentioned earlier, Jason had never ever launched a high ticket coaching program before. The only thing that he had, or the only thing that he used to monetize off of his audience, was a low ticket Discord community which was priced at $70 per month with around 80 paying members. He only had 1,500 followers on Instagram and 700 subscribers on YouTube, and he had absolutely no systems in place in terms of backend and content. He was literally just posting whatever content. Now, obviously, before you want to launch any type of coaching program, you want to do some sort of market research to actually identify your ideal customer profile and kind of focus on the ideal customer that you want to target, because you don't want to just target everyone, right? You want to identify your ideal customer and pretty much just target them and sell to them only. And the best way to do market research is by directly talking to your audience, and you can do this through two different ways. Number one, you can throw up like a quick story or a couple of stories on your Instagram or through your preferred social media platform, and kind of just ask your audience a couple of questions and try to identify their pain points through that. Or you can actually directly talk to your audience or to your followers through the DMs and ask them a set of questions. As you can see here, this person just asked them, why they got started with, Looks Maximum Self-Improvement, what their main goal is, their roadblocks of them actually achieving that desired goal, what they've tried previously and didn't work out, and pretty much the worst experience they had trying to achieve that desired outcome. And as you can see, the person actually responded with all 6 answers, and it actually has allowed that person to craft a really, really good offer, because obviously without an offer, you cannot launch a high ticket coaching program. That's just how it is. And you want to reach out to around 20 to 30 of your followers to actually gather enough data to actually craft your offer, okay? Because after that, you will identify the most recurring thing that came up for each and every one of these questions and literally take them, and you will easily be able to craft your strategies. As you can see, for example, here, just identify the end result, which is an aesthetic body. We'll just place it here, the most recurring one. Then the time frame, 2 to 3 months, obviously again the most recurring one. The roadblock, laziness, put it there. And the guarantee, you can just come up with one if you want to, okay? Obviously I don't like to come up with the guarantees, because obviously nothing is guaranteed in life. But if if your offer is good enough and it's actually kind of proven to work, then you're more than welcome to have a guarantee in place. Now, in Jason's case, we didn't really need to do market research because of 2 main reasons. The first reason is because Jason's in a niche where identifying all of these goals and desires and kind of outcomes is kind of easy to identify without doing market research, because he's in the make money online niche. He teaches people how to, get into e-commerce and start making money with e-commerce, okay? And realistically, if someone wants to get into e-commerce, and if someone wants to start making money with e-commerce, obviously their main goal is to make money, okay? Why do they want to make money? It's because they want to retire their parents, they want to quit their job, they want to have financial freedom, they want to have location freedom, okay? So we already know what their pain points, objections, and outcomes are, desired outcomes are. So we don't necessarily need to waste time on market research. And instead of taking your time to do market research, you can just go straight into launching. And that's exactly what we did. Now, before doing any type of public launches, we actually decided to do a private launch instead of Jason's low ticket Discord community, which had around 80 paying members. And the reason why we did that is because those are literally the warmest people that Jason will ever talk to, because they have bought from him in the past already, which means that they already trust him. Because think about it, if someone has bought from you in the past already, there's a very, very high chance that they're going to buy from you again in the future, because they have bought from you from the past, even if whatever you're kind of offering to them or selling to them is at a higher ticket price. Obviously, as long as your product is good enough, as long as they find what you're doing is valuable. And this is what we call an essential funnel, where we essentially upgrade or ascend existing members from a low ticket option to a higher ticket option. And the way that we ascend people from a low ticket option to a higher ticket option is through making something called a power offer, which is basically just making a direct offer to your audience. And there's 5 main goals or 5 main things that you want to hit with that power offer. Number 1, you want to make your audience aware that the launch is happening. Then you want to define who the offer is for. You want to lay out very, very very clearly the goals of the offer. You want to explain to the exact detail what's going to happen throughout the process. You want to give them some sort of guarantee, and you want to inject as much scarcity and urgency as you can. So pretty much just let them know that there's going to be a limited amount of spots at launch price, and after those spots are taken, the price pretty much is going to go up. And the way that you kind of craft this power offer or put this power offer together is simply by making a couple of posts in, you know, your private community. If it's a school community or if it's a Discord community, it's the exact same process. As you can see, this is exactly what we did for Jason, and I'm pretty much just going to share with you the whole launch sequence that we implemented for him right now. So on day one, we literally just posted the power offer inside of the community. As you can see, we pretty much just made an announcement and made everyone aware that the launch was happening. We explained who it's for. We kind of outlined the exact process. We injected scarcity. We gave them a guarantee, and obviously had a CTA at the end to kind of CTA everyone to DM Jason if they are interested in taking part in Jason's program. So that's it for day one. On day three, we literally posted the exact same power offer from day one, but I made Jason post or kind of film a VSL that we also kind of posted with the power offer itself. And what this did is it pretty much just increased the amount of inbounds that we got, because obviously people watched the VSL, it would kind of resonate with Jason, and you know it would kind of get them more hyped and more inclined to actually you know, be willing to kind of take part in Jason's program, and therefore it increased the amount of inbounds that we actually got. Now on day four, I pretty much just made Jason kind of, you know, create as much urgency as possible. So I pretty much just let them know that spots are being taken left and right. And Jason also kind of posted a couple of voice notes inside of the Discord community, pretty much just creating scarcity and urgency and just letting people know that this is a crazy program and that, you know, he's going to be dropping hella value and getting people really good results, which he actually did get. Now on day six, we actually made the people that we closed already from the launch kind of film a testimonial video about their experience so far in the program, and pretty much they just talked about how Jason is dropping a lot of value. He's helping them out one-to-one. He's giving them that one-to-one support. And what this did is it just kind of creates social proof, and it allows people to actually see that, you know, Jason's legit. Jason's actually helping out people, and you know, this whole program is legit and that's not a scam. Okay. And obviously what this did is it allowed us to kind of, you know, have an influx of inbound DMs, because obviously we added another CTA in this post. Now on day 7, we actually hosted like a free mini webinar or free mini masterclass where Jason just gave a lot of free value. He answered everyone's questions, and obviously towards the end he CTA'd everyone to DM him if they're interested in joining his program. And again, this allowed us to have like a large influx of inbound leads, which we obviously booked in on calls. Now, as you can see, once a lead would DM Jason the word hybrid, an appointment setter would run them through this simple qualification process. Just pretty much just ask them about how long they've been doing e-commerce for, how much they want to make per month, what they think is they're missing to kind of help them get to that monthly goal. Then just pretty much let them know that we have that process that will help them get to that monthly goal. And then we would move on to pitching them the call. We would send them the link so they can book the call, and then we will double check and kind of double confirm that they have actually booked that call with the closer. Now, to make sure that the lead actually shows up to the call, we'd have SMS and email reminders 24 hours, 12 hours, 3 hours, and 1 hour before the call. And then obviously there's 3 outcomes to that call. Number 1, the lead does not get closed. Number 2, they don't show up. Or number 3, obviously the best scenario that we want is the lead gets closed. If the lead doesn't get closed, we'll just nurture them with free resources through emails and through Instagram as well. If they don't show up, the setter will follow up with the lead for 2 weeks through Instagram and also by dialing them. And obviously if they get closed, we'll collect the cash, either split payment, full payment, or down payment. Now, within the first 7 days of us actually launching through Jason's private Discord community, we were able to collect $13,000 in cash, as you can see, May 24th to May 31st. And then around 20 days later, we collected $23,000 in cash, or we ended this whole launch at $23,000 in cash. Now, going back to why I said I didn't do any market research for this launch, because, you know, Jason, he's in the make money online niche. It's very simple to actually understand, you know, the pain points of anyone that's, you know, willing to buy a course or a mentorship program in anything that's related to making money online. Another reason why we didn't do market research is because the private launch itself is market research. We hopped on calls with people, we talked to them through the DMs, we had conversations with them, we identified their pain points and objections, and we're actually able to use all of this market data to refine everything for the next couple of launches that we did. So that's another reason why we actually kind of skipped the market research step and just went straight into launching. Now, the second type of launch that we did was the waitlist launch. This is where we pretty much just posted a 5-day story sequence where we just warmed up the audience and we started to let them know that, Jason's mentorship program or Jason's coaching program is going to come out very, very soon. Then we redirected everyone from that initial story sequence to a landing page where we collected their name, their Instagram username, their email, and their phone number. And anyone who kind of signs up to, get early access to Jason's mentorship program will pretty much be ran through or hit with an 8-day email launch sequence. And the job of this 8-day email launch sequence is pretty much just to warm up the leads before the launch and, start giving them early access. Another thing that we did to actually, contact these leads and warm them up before, giving them early access to Jason's mentorship program is calling them and texting them on WhatsApp, kind of have a convo with them, build rapport, find out their pain points, and also finally book them in on a call with the closer. And within the first 7 days, we were able to collect 9.5k in cash just from the waitlist itself. Now, moving on to the public launch itself, we had one main story sequence, pretty much just letting everyone know that finally Jason's mentorship program is out. And obviously on the last slide, we had a CTA to DM us if they're interested in actually joining the program. And again, we would run them through our inbound kind of appointment setting process. Again, asking them how long they've been in e-commerce for, how much they want to make per month, what they think they're missing to kind of get to that monthly goal, and then obviously pitching them the call and book them on the call with the closer. And then again, we would have the SMS and email reminders 24 hours, 12 hours, 3 hours, or 1 hour before the call. And obviously we have the 3 outcomes: they get closed, they don't get closed, they no show, or they get closed. And also we would track everything on a sales tracker, so we're pretty much just putting the date, the name of the prospect, did they get closed, yes or no, the stage that they're at, was it a live call, was it a no-show, the amount of cash that we collected, the amount of revenue that we've collected, and also any notes about the prospect itself. And what this did is it will pretty much just calculate everything for us. So calculate how many calls we've booked, how many live calls we would have, the deals closed, the deals lost, the close rate, the no-show rate, and even the commission of the closer. Now, obviously, one launch story sequence isn't really enough. And that's exactly why we had another 5 supporting or 5 follow-up story sequences to actually kind of support the main launch that we did. And actually, each and every one of these story sequences were crafted using the market data, the objections and the pain points that we actually derived from the initial public launch that we made. And that's exactly why, again, I said that we skipped the market research step, because the private launch itself is market research. And again, we used all of this data that we collected from this launch and from the waitlist launch to craft each and every one of these 5 story sequences. Because literally each and every one of these 5 story sequences pre-handled most of the objections that we identified from that private launch. As you can see in the first story sequence, this is pretty much a bottom of funnel story sequence, kind of a case story sequence that just created a lot of social proof, because we found out that a lot of people on the calls, obviously this is a very, very common objection, said that they're not sure that e-commerce will work out for them. So we just kind of bombarded them with a lot of case studies. Now, the second story sequence that we had was pretty much just about breaking limiting beliefs and pre-handling objections, because we also found out that people were scared of not taking action, and they were kind of, in that phase of saying that I want to make more research. Okay, so we pretty much just had a story sequence about, how making more research is probably the most stupid thing that you can do. And we also obviously ended it with a couple of case studies. The third story sequence that we had was pretty much a reality check or wake up call, because we found out that a lot of people on the sales calls and a lot of people that we talked to were around bad people, had bad friend groups, and they just didn't have any circles around them that pushed them to become a better person. So we pretty much just made a story sequence about how, if they join the mentorship program, or if they join Jason's program, they will be around like-minded people, around people that, push them to become better and, just make more money. On the fourth story sequence, we kind of made it relatable, and we just kind of made it about how Jason, started this whole online money journey, or the reason why he even decided to start e-commerce and make money online is to help out his parents and kind of give back to his mom. And also because through the sales calls and through the appointment setting, we found out that one of the main pain points that people had was kind of, wanting to provide for their parents or wanting to provide for their mom and just kind of making their parents proud, which is exactly why we made a whole story sequence about that specific topic. And what this did is it handled a lot of objections, and it just made it so much easier for us to close the calls. And then on the final story sequence that we had, we just added a lot of scarcity, because it was kind of getting close to Q4, and a lot of people were saying on the calls and in the appointment setting process that they're just going to wait until Q4 and, that they're going to make a lot of money in Q4. Okay, but in that story sequence, we decided to just kind of expose them and just kind of mentioned that, you know, waiting until Q4, you know, it doesn't kind of benefit you in any way, shape or form. So it's just better to start now. Now, moving on to Jason's YouTube strategy, we actually decided to focus on Jason's middle of funnel content. So any content that pretty much just teaches people more about e-commerce, because as you can see, this is the content that generated the most amount of views for Jason and actually has allowed us to kind of cash in and make as much money as we can from Jason's YouTube channel. And obviously anyone who would watch those YouTube videos would get redirected to Jason's free training. They pretty much just watch that video and book a call with the closer, and obviously the closer will try to close them. And obviously we'll also have kind of top of funnel content or lifestyle content to generate awareness and to just generate views, to kind of make people more aware about Jason and kind of what he does. And after that, they'll pretty much just see Jason's middle of funnel content, which is the educational content. They would watch it, you know, start liking them a bit more, get redirected to his, you know, landing page, watch the free training, book on a call with the closer, and the cycle kind of repeats itself over and over again. Now, the public launch itself generated around $42,000, and $20,000 of the $42,000 was actually purely generated from outbound appointment setting. Outbound appointment setting is pretty much where the appointment setter DMs people that are already following you, literally people that are just sitting in your following, and they'll pretty much just start a conversation with them, build rapport, you know, talk to them about their pain points, their objections, and try and book them in on a call with a closer. And like I said, we were literally able to generate purely $20,000 from just us DMing people that were sitting in Jason's audience. As you can see, this is exactly what we did with Jason. So in this conversation, the appointment setter pretty much just kind of DM'd them, appreciated them for engaging with his content, and, you know, started the appointment setting process, asking them about, you know, if they're already doing e-commerce or if they're looking to start. Okay, and this process is really, really simple. And the main thing that you need to focus on, the main thing that you need to kind of have in the back of your mind is not to rush it. Okay, you need to actually build a relationship, and you need to actually build rapport with the lead or with the prospect, because they can tell if you rush it. I've had so many occasions where leads, you know, were able to tell that, you know, we were just trying to sell them because the appointment setter just did a bad job. So if you're doing the appointment setting, or if, you know, the appointment setter is doing the setting for you, make sure that you just let them know that take your time with building rapport and building a relationship with the lead. Because if you actually take your time, it's really, really easy to book them in on a call. And these are really, really warm leads, because they actually, you know, they value the fact that you DM them first, because they're literally following you for a reason, right? And if they see that you've DM'd them, they're pretty much just going to think that, yo, this guy actually took the time out of his day to DM me and, you know, start a conversation with me. So they're going to be really, really warm on the call, and it's just going to make it so much easier for you to close them. So if you're not doing outbound appointment setting, I genuinely don't know what to tell you. But I mean, after what I've showed you right now, you better start doing it, because like I said, we were able to generate $20,000 purely from just talking to people that were just sitting in our following. Now, looking at the final stats of this total launch, we generated $131,000 in revenue. We collected $75,000 in cash. We had an average closing rate of 42%. We had a show rate of 61%. We closed 53 deals. We booked 137 calls. We had 85 live calls, and we had a no-show rate of 38%. Now, these are literally the exact steps that we took to kind of launch Jason and take him from zero to over $75,000 in cash with a micro audience. Now, if you're someone that's looking to scale or even launch the High Tier Coaching Program, then just DM me on Instagram, links in the description, and I'm more than happy to help you out. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I actually hope that you learned a lot. Like I said, you can implement everything that I said. I literally broke down everything that we used to take Jason from nothing to over $75,000 in cash collected. But other than that, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.